Hey, what's up guys? It's Cypher. Today we're doing a video, primal versus mechanical. I'm going to be basically rating primal weapons versus mechanical weapons, which one is better in which situation. Some of it comes down to personal preference, but I do believe there is some very distinctive differences between the two types of weapons, especially depending on the rarities that can really impact whether it's worth using a mechanical or a primal. And dude, I forget that this guy spawns here now. He's invading this area. This is my location. I'm sorry, man, but I don't think it's gonna work out for you doing all that. Okay, so first, let's talk about the shotguns. Mechanical versus primal. Quick note. Mechanical shotguns go up to gold. Primal goes up to mythic. There is a primal mythic drum shotgun. Okay. At the end of the day, there's only one mythic, so we're not really going to put that one too much into account. From my personal experience, primal shotguns, extremely dangerous up close, and they do have some range. Honestly, when you ADS, this thing can still pack a punch from a distance. Green pump, gray mechanical shotgun, or makeshift, even blue pumps. I feel like the blue and green pump they kind of lose the fight compared to the primal green and the blue primal shotgun. They definitely lose the fight to the lower rarity primal guns. The higher the rarity of the primal, I mean, the higher the rarity of the shotgun, the more it's leaning towards the pump. The reality is that the mythic primal, it's kind of in a league of its own. A lot of people would prefer to have the mythic primal over a gold pump shotgun. And that's really when it's going to come down to playstyle. Some people's playstyle is going to prefer the primal. Some people's playstyle is going to prefer the pump when we're talking about gold and mythic. But in my opinion, in the early game, a green or blue primal shotgun is going to be better than a green or blue pump. The fire rate, the amount of damage output, the potential to put someone down almost immediately is just higher. You got to remember the pumps are a little bit weaker in terms of max damage this season, but they up the body damage just a tiny bit to counteract that. That's the first category, which is the shotguns. I think primal is better in the earlier stages, but the pump is pretty even and sometimes even better in the later stages. But it is going to come down, like I said, it is going to come down to play style. Now, ARs. Actually, I'll save ARs for last because I think ARs are a little bit spicy. I have my opinions on ARs. Let's go into SMGs really quickly. The reality about the SMGs is they're actually very close in terms of performance. The SMGs are going to be used in the medium to close range anyways. The primal SMG is a little bit less accurate but has higher fire rate than the P90. But the reality is that they're all so close in the SMGs are so close in performance that it doesn't really matter which one you're using. They're all going to have very similar mechanics, very similar accuracy and damage output. I've personally slightly preferred the primal SMGs, but you can't go wrong with a P90, you know? Now let's talk about the bows really quickly. First of all, this thing is a beast. This purple primal is just putting people down left and right. Let's talk about the bows. The strongest bow, in my opinion, the strongest bow is going to be the the strongest bow is going to be the shockwave bow. That probably has the best utility, best mobility. It can be used aggressively. The only thing is that the shockwave bow, it is a mechanical bow mixed with shockwaves. It's not in arena. It's not in competitive. And actually, in competitive, you can't make a mechanical bow into anything currently. There's no upgrades for the mechanical bow in tournaments and in arena. So the primal bow is going to be the preferred bow in competitive if you're using it, because that's the only one that can turn into the fire bow if you mix it with a gas canister or firefly jars. And it can turn into the stink bow, which is very good for putting pressure on opponents. So the primal bow is going to be the alpha bow for competitive. But I think the mechanical has a little bit beat in pubs because of the shockwave. You got to remember, there's not a lot of mobility this season. So having a bow with like a bunch of shockwave shots in it is going to be extremely useful. Now let's talk about the ARs. This is where there's going to be a lot of difference of opinion. but I think there's the most potential for meta shifts when it comes to primal versus mechanical ARs. The primal assault rifle, I believe if it's green or blue, honestly, even if it's a mechanical green or blue, off the drop early game, I'm gonna want a primal AR over a normal AR. The reason is the primal AR is very, very good in close range and has more DPS than the normal AR. It has a much higher damage output because it shoots faster than a normal AR. Now, when you go into the purple, the primal ARs do not have first shot accuracy. So you can't ADS get that first shot accuracy with the primal ARs. That's the biggest weakness for the primal ARs. But once you close the gap, if you're in the medium to close range, or if you're box fighting or build fighting somebody, the primal AR is just, in my opinion, so much better at all rarities than the normal AR. I think at purple or gold rarity, it's still accurate enough to beam people, even from longer ranges. If somebody was standing over there and I had this scar sure is more accurate. But one thing you got to remember is there's going to be bloom regardless, unless you're only shooting first shot accuracy. But if you're spraying somebody, the second thing to remember is, this is really important, because of the fire rate of the primal, you shoot more bullets before your opponent has a chance to build. So like, let's say you start beaming somebody. Because the primal shoots faster, it's going to shoot more bullets before they have a reaction to build a wall and block off. So the primal might actually give you more shots, even though it's less accurate. So many mats used for this guy. Is it worth it? You know what I don't understand is he played so safe the entire time. He was just sitting above me. And then he just decided, I'm just going to jump into your box. For the first 10 minutes, he made us use so many mats. Look at this beam. Look at this beam. I'm telling you, the primal AR, the scar could have beamed. Okay, the scar could have beamed in that situation. Don't get me wrong. But the primal AR fire rate allows you to beam more. As long as they're within that range where you're still going to be accurate with your shots. And trust me, this range is big. Watch. I feel like the scar doesn't do that, man. I feel like the scar... I really do feel like it just doesn't do that. Look at that. Now I'm going to put the pressure on him too from range. Must be nice, man. All right. For me, in most situations, I'm going to prefer the primal AR over the normal scar. In most situations. I feel like in most of the fights, like unless it's super long range and you're going for like first shot accuracy taps, you're in a competitive environment, you're trying to get some long range taps. The primal is way more deadly, has way more DPS output, and it can be used as an SMG. While the normal scar, even though it still can be used as an SMG, close range, it doesn't quite give you the hip fire accuracy all the time that you're looking for. And it's going to be way less DPS than the normal scar. So, quick recap. Shotguns. The primal beats the pump in the lower rarities. Once you get to purple pump, gold pump, it comes down to personal playstyle. But I still think the mythic primal is going to beat pumps in most situations. SMGs, they are too close to be compared and actually have like a strong opinion between the two. Mechanical SMGs, primal SMGs, they're both going to give you very similar results. Bows, in competitive, the primal bow is king. That was coming at me? Didn't realize that was aimed at me. Man, why does everybody want to just jump in? This guy has me beat. Not gonna lie. GG, man. All right, I mean, that's the video. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. Hopefully it describes the difference between primal and mechanical a little bit better for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.